Mad Magical yet again. And here we are as we find ourselves between the second to last game and the last game, as it is a halftime skit. All right, y'all. So we're bringing back a little bit of a fun one that we had last split. We're going to do a little bit of an academy gallery here, as I have reached out to a few select players within this specific series. So out of the 10 players that played in this series, reached out to them, asked them, send me a quick paint photo of what your favorite thing of League of Legends is. So that's your premise here for these photos that will be coming up. I'm going to bring up the photos one at a time. Yeah, they could have detailed it as much as they wanted to. That's what I told them. It's like, you can give me whatever you want. Masterpieces only. But the reality is, we're gonna walk through one at a time here and talk a little bit about these players while they also have given us some art. So let's go ahead and bring up the first photo here. The first one. Let me see who it's gonna be. Oh. So, just right off the cuff, Cubby, who you got? Who you think this is out of the 10 players that are in this series?
By the art of narrowing down who has facial hair and who does not on EG, I'm gonna guess Cowrie.
Cubby, Magical, what do you got?
I mean,
who do you think drew this?
It's Cowrie.
Okay, you're both wrong. It is Saligo who went ahead and drew this one. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to communicate with him in time before the series to ask what it is.
It's got to be of Cowrie. It's got to be Saligo drawing a picture of Cowrie.
That's what I'm thinking. But it is Saligo who is the artiste of this wonderful, wonderful piece of art in the Gallery of Academy. Now, I got to ask the quick question, though, because I do want to talk a little bit about Saligo. Why do you think this is the choice, Magical? What do you think, like, this, what reasoning behind this do you think there is for Saligo to draw this? Spend so much time. I mean, there's some serious color detail in the hair and the beard.
Yeah.
You must honor the carry.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, he drew it because he's like, yeah, Cowrie good.
Is that the consensus, Cubby?
Yeah, you got to honor the carry, Hang a portrait up.
Okay.
This is our father.
Cowrie carry.
Yeah, this is who every ADC should aspire to be. I love the artistry, and I can appreciate Saligo from Evil Geniuses going ahead and getting some submission for Evil Geniuses. Because a little bit behind the scenes, we aren't going to have all of them on here, but I did end up having 5 total pictures sent to me. 4 of those pictures were drawn by Dignitas people. But I have a random assortment here in this one. So we're gonna
now we know not to guess Evil Geniuses because we got the one here from Evil Geniuses.
I'm helping you guys out. So
we don't want how much cheating. We don't need no assistance.
All right,
we don't need no cheat codes.
Let's go ahead and bring up the second photo and see who you guys think the artiste for this one could have been.
I'm gonna go with Spawn. I'm gonna go with Spawn because he likes Infinity Edge.
Yo, that is a pretty well drawn Infinity Edge.
It is.
It is. I respect that. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go with XU because maybe XU just really wants to do damage. I feel like XU wants to do some damage, and high key might be an artist. I feel like maybe he's sneaking up on us here.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate, these are the favorite things in League of Legends is what the premise was. So it was Spawn. All right, Magical. You're using some cheat codes here. I gave you too much.
I told you not to give me them. You've given me too much power.
I've given you too much power, as we always tend to do. But I love the IE, the detail, but especially is super important to him because I think that we all know the Spawn likes to do some damage, and it definitely fits the role to carry, and which I think is really fun.
Spawn built an Infinity Edge that game. Cowrie did not. Spawn won. Results-based analysis.
Results-based analysis. There we go. We came full circle.
One.
Oh my God, it's amazing. All right, well, we got one last photo to cover here. Go ahead and bring up the last artistry, the last Academy art here of the day.
We have shading?
There's some serious detail. I mean, first we started off with the beard shaving, the hair shaving. Now we've gone full-blown character model shaving. So shading, not shaving. But the fact. Who is it? Who is it, Cubby?
It's Insanity. I feel like Insanity likes this skin line and these emotes the most, and would be a low-key like fantastic artist.
Yeah,
and also
I,
it's Dignitas colors. I must vote for a Dig member.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, we know it's Dignitas.
I definitely didn't give you too much of a note.
Just to be different. Just to be different, I'm gonna say it's JJ, but I think it's Insanity.
Dare to be different.
Okay, JJ, I could actually see JJ being sick artist.
Yeah.
So this one was in fact Dignitas Academy's mid laner Insanity.
Yeah.
And using a little bit of your background knowledge there, Covey, the B skin line. The question for me is it just the B? Is it Malzahar B? Is it the BMO? Is it Cog?
It's
Bima.
Bima. It's Bima.
So does that mean we're foreshadowing to a Bima mid for Insanity
yes.
in the near future, at least?
How can it be Bima if it's a stick figure?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was Malzahar.
Because he didn't know how to draw the body.
Makes him...
Maybe it's like...
Or maybe just didn't want to take the time.
I mean, like, these aren't stick figures, but I feel like it's like the little, like, critters, like Malzahar drops in the bee Malzahar skin. The beekeeper Malzahar.
Maybe.
It could be. We do have a couple that we were not able to utilize today that will be featured in another series of this Academy Art Gallery. So it's a fun one. I love getting the players involved, just getting a little bit of like what they find fun, what they find as their favorite. But it is always a good one. And now we got to get to the nitty gritty of our final game of the day here in day 1 of Academy. Like, I can't believe we're already here. It feels like it just zoomed by. I don't know about you guys. You've been casting. I've been setting up bits. So maybe my time goes a little bit faster. But we do have to see what Evil Geniuses Academy are going to be able to do to bounce back from that game number 1. Because I feel like Dignitas Academy themselves came out swinging in multiple fashions, Cubby.
I feel like given the drafts, if EG doesn't hit the windows hard in the first 5-10 minutes, that draft gets really hard to execute. And I think we saw that throughout the game. And EG, again, I really feel like overperformed the fact they actually picked up an Elder and should have had that Baron. I don't think that there should ever be a game state where that happens for EG, given the 2 drafts and where the game was at. They made it happen. What I'm hoping happens this game is that EG, if they want to go aggressive early, I'm a fan. That's always been how EGA plays. I think that pays off for them, especially when we get later into the season. Things get more coordinated. But maybe take away things like the Gangplank then. I think that is like one of the top laners that if you're going to play short-range carries that need to go in, just get rid of Gangplank. He can lane against all of them with a Trial by Fire, and then he just makes it so difficult for you to get up in the face of the rest of the team as the game goes on, given all the zone control and appeal that he has.
Oh, that steal. That barrel steal. Oh, my God.
That was crazy, too. Tony Top sends his regards to EG.
It was actually nuts. We do have Champ Select ready to go, though. So for the final time of the day, Magical Cubby, take it away.
Alrighty, let's get down to business. Our last game of day 1 to start off this summer split. Dignitas Academy swapping sides with that of Evil Geniuses Academy now on the blue side for Dig and red side for EG. I'm seeing now a little bit of a difference. We got that Lilia still banned by Dignitas, but Talia first banned by Evil Geniuses.
I really want to see EG take away the Gwen as well. That was Tony Top's best champion last year with Golden Guardians Academy. Still a power pick. I wouldn't want to give that to Tony Top. We haven't seen Gwen yet today. I don't want to see it early. But what's curious to me, actually, my Magical, that Karma ban coming out. Because that tells me that Dignitas might put a priority on the Lulu. Most common answer we see is the Karma. Karma gets shoved in the Lulu and can kind of match Enchantress for Enchantress, but maybe that's something that Dignitas are setting up for, or maybe they're looking for an early Senna as real Karma. Again, another common answer that we have into Senna Tahm Kench, which is the most common.
So what you're telling me is the B actually was prophesizing a Kog'Maw pick here.
Hey, potentially for Spawn. We'll have to see, as I did tease the Gwen for Tony Top. That's big. That Kalista ban, though, that tells me that maybe Dignitas' plan is early pick Lucian. Of course, Wukong is still on the table. That is a champion that EG could take away here, as they do end up taking away that Lucian. And I think it's going to be a first pick Wukong here for the side of team.
I would expect that as well, but Senna's also available, banned last time first by Evil Geniuses. So they grabbed that for Spawn. The flexibility it allows for the team. It's exciting to see whether it's going to be something typical like Tahm Kench, or if they're going to explore other avenues, go for something a little bit more spicy. But it is then the trade that they give up Wukong in for getting themselves that Senna. Yeah.
And into the Senna Tahm Kench, honestly, Lulu's up. You can run Cog Lulu into that lane. That is a handshake that we've seen a lot of so far in the split. So curious to see if EG does end up opting to grab their marksman here, or you could grab a solo laner if you are EG, because when you have that Senna, if you want the Tahm Kench, you have to draft it now, or I should say then. So I guess you could wait on your bot lane pairing if you want to try and do that, but nope, it will be the Kog'Maw. We expect to see the Cog Lulu, and curious to see if Dignitas now plays some of that wild stuff that you could pair with Senna. Maybe take advantage of some of that flexibility to try and throw what we expect to be a Kog'Maw Lulu lane, a curveball.
We'll keep my eyes on that. I would personally like to see the Cho'Gath. We've seen that actually in Proving Grounds qualifiers. I would love to see that bust out here as our last game for day one. Be exciting, but it's not. It's just Tahm Kench, something standard, something normal, something that is also really good when it paired up with Senna.
Ooh, this would be curious, though. I will say the Kindred with Tahm Kench really helps enable you to play forward, and that Lamb's Respite into Wukong ultimates are pretty strong. This would be a newer pick for XU. I mean, we know it's something that he can play. XU more known for the Graves play, but grabbing the other common marksman that we have in the jungle and the Kindred, really looking forward to seeing if this one works out.
I was a bit surprised by that. I thought, if anything, you're going to go on to Graves, since we're used to that from XU, but there's switch up the styles a bit, getting a little bit more of, I mean, not even a little bit more, it's very similar to the last game where they have these scaling options, where they can easily make the game last on, well, they have options to do well earlier on. They have really good ability to consistently scale.
They have scaling options, but it's really hard to outscale Cog Lulu. And I think at EG this time around, you have that playmaking, that flex pick of Wukong, pairing that with the Cog Lulu. Again, I feel like this is a more sound draft. This is an opening that we saw Cloud9 perform when they were on the red side against TSM in that second game. Of course, they kind of got blown out of the water by TSM. So hopefully EG has a few more things up their sleeves. And honestly, off the bat, Mad Magical, that Vlad ban, that tells me that Surdy might be looking at that Gangplank, which looking at Senna, Tahm Kench, Kindred, Gangplank sounds fantastic into those three champions.
Yes. And that's what I'd expect as well for Surdy. He's played it before, done really well in the past. That or Ornn. Ornn I could definitely see something frontline that really has the non-committal engage. Either or, I think both work for Surdy in this matchup. You look at the Gangplank, just provides a little bit more damage. You get the Ornn, you're just pretty much being a beefy frontline for your Kog'Maw to do the damage. But obviously time will tell. We look at the bans, we see that it's Vladimir for an Ahri on the other side. And the Ahri ban is always interesting to me, because I just see things like get more opened up, such as like a Twisted Fate that you can now play a little bit more confidently, especially for the side of someone like Sligo, who likes to move around the map a lot. And the Jax is going to be the final ban coming in from them, and not going for a mid lane ban.
Still paying respects to Tony Top as the second game where Jax is taken away. That is Tony Top's best champion that we've seen. Very good in the Jax, and honestly, could be setting up a Camille again.
Good.
Mad Magical. I mean, that is an option. Camille, pretty good.
Well,
you know,
what would you take, the Camille? Would you take the Gangplank, or would you take the Ornn if you're Evil Geniuses?
I would really consider slamming GP here, which they're going to do.
Yeah.
That's what the Vlad ban spelled out to me. Now, if I'm on the side of Dignitas, Tony Top does have some options. Aatrox is like into Kog'Maw. Honestly, at this point, I think they should run Camille, because then you actually have lockdown to get out of the Kog'Maw. Odds are, with the Ahri and the Zoe bans, which mid lane are they setting up for here? Maybe I can call the kit and caboodle here for the rest of the draft. Mad Magical.
Let's try quickly before they hover something.
Insanity.
Vigar?
Insanity Orianna. No.
Orianna.
No.
Oh, Azir.
Azir. Okay. That's nice. You can play around, make some clever plays with Lamb's Respite, push them off the Lamb's Respite. Could be big. And it gives you a way to interact with Kog'Maw. I'm wondering if we see Saligo play Vigar. I think Vigar is really good into everything that Dignitas is showing at the moment, and would give a ton of zone control over the Kog'Maw as well. So it would leave EG a tad bit lacking on the engage, but it's a very common counter pick we see into Azir. We saw it earlier today, as it did win the game. might be the option instead. Soligo going to be playing a little bit faster, opt for that Twisted Fate.
More ability to roam around the map early on into the game, tag teaming with Tomio. This is kind of the standard that we saw from Evil Geniuses at the beginning of the spring split, coming back here in summer. And I think it could work out well. If they are able to get a play early for Kaori Smoothie in the bot lane, they can definitely use that to try to get this Kog'Maw off the ground rolling quickly. That way you don't have to really worry about the potential of a Senna scaling into the game or even the Kindred jumping onto the backline.
All options. I think overall for the side of EG though, again, I feel like that opening on red, if you ever get Wukong, Kog'Maw, Lulu, it feels like a pretty stock standard opener that people have not yet figured out exactly how to respond to on this patch. I think one of the better responses I've seen into Wukong is actually magic damage junglers. We've seen some Karthus be played into it as Wukong gets armor from his passive, not MR. So, I mean, that's one option, but I'm curious to see how this Kindred works out. I will be honest, I haven't seen this matchup yet on the new patch, so I think that XU early on will have a lot of opportunities to invade and get up in the face of this Wukong. So we'll see how careful Tomio can be in this early game, getting things off the ground. Because if EG get off the ground, their comp scales fantastically, the team fight very well. If not, they will struggle with the pressure that Azir has early, that Kindred can put on Wukong early, and things could get blown open.
So what is the play you want to have the fastest? Actually, why don't we just watch it instead? I'll ask you that question later. Let's get into this game. Let's see how this pans out, Cubby. Get our last game of day one here for the summer split. Dignitas Academy, they've got the advantage. They took that first game over Evil Geniuses Academy in a 40-minute banger. And here, both teams have more scaling. So EG don't feel as threatened if the game goes long.
Couple interesting things I just want to point out as we spawn in. It is going to be a ghost for Kaori's Kog'Maw. Usually we see heal or we see cleanse.
Right.
Ghost is interesting.
Why would you go Ghost? Yeah.
Very confident in the lane, and it's another piece of movement that he could use to maybe space the Azir, get out of Camille stun. It tells me though that Kaori is very confident this thing does go in their favor. And also, Soligo Insanity. A couple of interesting keystones here. Of course, the Azir we saw earlier today was First Strike from Jimian. Will be Conquer, something that we've been seeing be more common in the durability patch for Azir. But Glacial Augment for Soligo is very curious, and I'm wondering how this is going to work out.
That's that is actually a peculiar one. Well, I'm a big fan of Glacial Augment. I think it's something that more champions, anyone with like hard CC should look towards a little bit more often because you can easily get out of danger that you normally wouldn't be able to get out of, like there. But it's also something that kind of makes it difficult for the lane phase itself.
It does enable, again, for you to kind of space the trades, and it does decrease damage while people are standing on it. So, always
well,
nice.
like I said, it gives you survivability. It just doesn't give you, like, full-on lane pressure.
Obviously, Twisted Fate usually doesn't have a keystone that feels great. Oftentimes why we see the spellbook. So, see if Insanity, though, I was able to play into this one. As early lane, you can see the push from Azir. Very sound. As I really have my eye on XU early. When does he choose to get up in the face of this Wukong? Because on the Kindred, you have the hop. You have so many walls you can navigate over to try and get up in the face of Wukong. Throw him off that early path, that early clear. Want to see if XU takes that onus, is at the moment doing the fastest clear that you can do to get to level 3. Going Red Raptors into what looks to be the ground.
It indeed does, and I'd expect that he might look for a play topside. Even though Tomio is in the vicinity to counter that, oftentimes what I've seen from a lot of Kindred players is they always try to go for this cheeky play. Jump over the wall, but they'll be spotted out by Tomio completely. Tomio has all the knowledge, so tell Uncertainty, hey, bail out of that one. No reason to stick around.
Uh-oh.
All right. Maybe there is a reason to stick down. Yeah, I'm actually more surprised that Sturdy stuck around. Maybe thinking Tomio was closer, but unfortunately, even with the oranges, he's not okay. The flash will be there through, but it's going to be... Oh, no! It's not red buff does burn him down for first blood. XU will fall to Tomio, but they still got that early kill for Kindred.
It's a double buff refresh for Tomio, but because the top laner fell, because Tony Top has pushed, he can't go and take any of the crabs, so we'll just be him returning. But honestly, I think it's an okay trade for EG. The fact that the Kindred went down, double buff refresh for the Wukong, and Kindred will get the first mark on the bot side, but doesn't get to kill Wukong, doesn't get to run rampant now in Wukong's jungle. I think it's okay for EG.
Yeah, and EG, you know, getting that trade back for Tomio to make sure that he's going to be fine into XU, even if XU does pick up First Blood. It's good for Kindred to have that gold funneled early. You talked about the double buffs. I'm glad you talked about that because it gives more time for Tomio to stay on the Rift. And so when we get to take a look at this replay, we can see, honestly, I think Surdy thought Tomio was a lot closer.
So Surdy stepped up to get level 3. I think they felt like they might be able to win this one, but losing the barrel, that really hurts Surdy. And honestly, Surdy nearly played this out, where he gets out. The flash was good. If that ward's not there, it's good. And then the grass to get some extra health. I mean, that's the last tick of red buff that he burns down to. So Surdy, while stepping up there was incredibly risky, it was a lot closer, and Surdy played it as well as he could in that situation. So at least opening up that window for Tomio to trade out.
And with that, Tomio gets another clear. It still hasn't had to go back, hasn't had to recall. Can even visit bot lane that struggled just a bit. Good push coming in from Spawn and JJ to make sure that Cowrie and Smoothie aren't fully controlling this lane. But really still not going to see that kind of turnaround with that massive wave crashing into the turret of EG. Tomio's like, yeah, there's not much I can really do at the moment. I have to make sure I'm still getting these levels, getting these leads. But he hasn't even... Actually, this is weird. He hasn't put himself in a way that he can contest that mark early from XU.
Yeah, and I will have to take a look at the Kindred, but it might be multiple marks. And Kindred, of course, is skipping over the crab to walk up to Surdy. Surdy's dead.
Here we go. You take that mark, you look for Surdy, you take him down. Even if he has oranges, it's not okay because you can chase him down and help Wolf bite a bit out of the pirate.
And that is so hard now for Surdy because Tony Top will freeze that lane. So Surdy's minions are going to kill off another wave of gold and XP that he will drop. Tony Top gets the base TP back when he's ready. Really good timing from XU again. A great play on this Kindred, driving it forward, but EG, they want to answer. XU's on the top side, and XU is low, and Saligo is here.
I like this play, getting a lot of damage on XU. There's going to be the Destiny gate open with a nice gold card
really
shut
well done.
Down for Tomio with the blue buff in tow.
Well done. Good teamwork by Saligo and Tomio. A little bit greedy there from XU to stick around, take that buff. Probably should have based after the Gromp, but ends up going down for his sins, and that is the first port from Twisted Fate, working out pretty well for the side of EG. Again, their comp scales very well this game, so anytime they can trade back, go a little bit even, and set XG behind, I think that really benefits them.
Well, this is why I was talking about Saligo on Twisted Fate beforehand. Seeing him on this champion where he can move around the map a lot. This is when Saligo has had his biggest strengths. Even back in the day when we saw a lot of Galio. That was something that he piloted excellently because he constantly moved around with this jungler. And here with Tomio, being able to move around with the Twisted Fate to make sure that XU is not getting fully out of control. Great stuff to see from Evil Geniuses.
And, I mean, for EG, while all this is going on, we haven't panned the camera bot too much, but it's just been Cowrie and Smoothie getting shoved in a little bit, but still picking up all the farm. And once Kog'Maw gets to that level 7, 8, 9, gets those bonus points into the W, those trades start to become really powerful for the side of EG. You start to really get to chunk out this Tahm Kench. So once you get past level 7, that's where the matchup gets good. Is Surdy, he's dead.
Surdy, he's just dead. Nice play from Tony Top, solo bolo.
Use the ultimate to get out of the first barrel. Really well played by Tony Top as he has been taking it to his former org mate in Surdy. Of course, Surdy being the top laner for EG while he was while Tony Top was there. Tony Top being the EGA top laner, Surdy the EGP one. Surdy ended up taking a spot, and Tony Top, he's been sending his regards this series. Between the Baron steal and now winning out this matchup pretty hard with the help of XU, it's been a really nice showing from Tony Top.
Like I said, get him back in Academy as a full-time starter. This guy is good and how he plays aggressively, and you can see that Surdy's having a difficult time. While Tomio's been able to at least get a lot of the gold for the team to make up for that, you're now in a position where Tony Top on this Camille can always solo kill Surdy anytime he shows up into that lane.
And you can start to see the trading potential on the Cog Lulu, but At the moment, this map, it's still all Dignitas. Soligo doesn't have the port. XU will take that Rift Herald as Tomio looking to answer, taking the Dragon for the side of EG. But not able to do so. Still scared. Yeah, and look at top side. I think Surdy's in trouble.
Well, I was about to say, XU's here looking for Surdy, but that's another mark that has been missed by XU. That makes it 3 in a row he hasn't been able to claim. He's only sitting on, I think, 1. I think he only has 1 solitary mark at the moment. That was from that early Scuttle Crab. And the fact that now he's hanging around topside trying to clear out the jungle of Tomio means that they sacrifice this dragon.
I mean, honestly, I feel like this is worth it for the side of Dig. Like, the fact that XU is getting gold, denying all this, and then putting pressure on the Tony top, at any time, the only reason I think that Dignitas had not attempted a dive onto this top side is because Soligo has ultimate. So I think that still, XU, clearing out this entire side of the jungle, catching back up a bit in gold, is more valuable than that first dragon that EG was able to pick up. So I still think the fact they got Rift Herald and got a lot of gold in the pockets of their jungler, really good for the side of Dig.
Okay, and I will say XU is at 3 stacks on Kindred. Once you get that 4th one, that's when it really becomes more important. Yeah, exactly. So that is a lot closer than I thought XU was initially. And all you have to do is wait for that last one from either killing Tomio or if the jungle spawns and getting it a little bit easier.
Yeah, and when you are at 3 stacks, you are still getting marks in your side of the jungle. So XU should be able to hopefully net one of those for himself. As
Tony Top attempted to play. Yeah, he tried to get on top of Surdy, but here's going to be a lot that Tony Top cannot get away from. With the gold card, Cyclone, even the ultimatum does nothing to deter the fight from Surdy.
And that's why Surdy was keeping that wave frozen on his side of the map. He was just waiting for the right moment for his team to come help him, for his team to respond. And Dignitas, they aren't going to let that happen for free. Goes back mid. Insanity now 4.5 points in the pocket of Dignitas, thanks to the pressure that Insanity's been putting down as the Azir. Mind you, Azir was blinded this game. Insanity performing very well into this Twisted Fate. It is a good matchup where you do get up in CS. The benefits of it later for the TF is that gold card. You can walk up and stun Azir. It does feel very good later.
Also, Soligo's already got 2 rotations out of that ult.
Yes.
Both of them successful. Exactly. So I'm looking at how Dignitas can play around that and if they can make sure they can deny Soligo from that further. Because at the moment, this is a much better game from the side of Evil Geniuses. They're having a far better early game. They're making sure they're staying steady. And we talked about before, they've got great scaling options on their side that is going to be threatening to that of Dignitas. Even if they have some themselves, you can't beat that Kog'Maw.
And Kog'Maw at the moment, of course, does have some build options that Kog can go for. It's looking like it's going to be a Blade of the Ruin King Rush, as we do see XU pinging that 4th mark, thanks to our observers for catching that one. So, of course, bonus range, a little bit, a lot more power on the Kindred when you hit
that's
that
when you need.
mark. Yeah, that's the one where, you really start to feel like you were ahead of the power curve. And XU as well has that Kraken Slayer in his pockets. So, XU very strong at this point of the game.
XU's going to feel pretty powerful, especially if we look towards the bot lane. If they look for a dive, look for a play, because I don't think he's going to really search for anything onto Surdy anymore. He has confidence in Tony Top. The only reason Tony Top fell before was mostly just because there's a lot of members that showed up suddenly into the top lane. So instead, XU's got a lot of time to work on with this jungle path, with the river, gaining some vision control back for the team.
And I think right now, still a pretty close game. I'd say that this is a favorable game state for the side of EG, given the scaling. What I'm looking for, though, from Dignitas is I really think they need to grab this next dragon. They need to start trying to stack up these souls.
This is greedy. Oh, that could have been dicey. Sorry to interrupt you. I was thinking, well, you walked over a ward. I was worried for a second. I'm like, uh-oh.
It was calculated, baby. XU knew what he was doing. He had that in the back pocket, man. He had Smite, good to go. If he didn't have Smite, yeah, that'd be tough, but all good.
All good. It all works out in the end. Now Soligo,
this may not
again,
be over.
top lane. Man, he is just everywhere. He is Mr. Worldwide. He goes golden, and the burn from the passive of Gangplank takes the kill.
Actually, really nice stopwatch there from Soligo. Ends up preventing the trade kill as Tomio trying to save this mid-outer, but will be first brick going over to Dig in response.
Might even be a trade of a turret in the top lane that Surdy can take for himself. Has a lot of pressure, lots of minions with the cannon as well. But all in all, again, Saligo just on point with these rotations around the map, especially to bounce back Surdy into this game.
Nice setup from EG, but again, I really feel like Dig's gotten a lot out of this. Look at this rotation bot. They're going to net 2 turrets to the 1, partly thanks to the fact that they were able to obtain Shelly in the mid lane earlier. But also the dominance of the laning phase is Insanity, down a level, but still goes in.
Well, he has a lot of advantages there. Makes sense. Cyclone here on Tomio as well. Tony Top could probably chase him down if he wants to with the hook shot. Instead, lets him go. Not sure where everyone is, such as Saligo, Surdy. Doesn't want to get caught out too far. Instead, wants to let the team work on this bottom half of the map and get themselves a dragon.
Series of trades. Dignitas do come out on top as they solidify a 1k gold advantage, taking down 2 turrets and a dragon for themselves. But again, EG, I feel like they're losing gracefully at this point. They're just waiting for Saligo to get ults and playing around those cooldowns. Besides that, they are dropping things, but it's not a dire situation for them.
Right. I was about to say, I feel like both teams have just been playing slowly where they're making great plays across the board.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I like the approach of EG. I think that Surdy might have been able to prevent one of the deaths early, but overall, I think that it was good plays from XU to really pressure the top side. I think as we shift into the mid game, I think we just have to have more eyes starting to focus on, honestly, Dignitas, because we keep on talking about how we like the scaling of EG. Cowrie's still not going to be online. It looks like a Blade of the Ruined King rush from this Kog'Maw.
Taking some time, yeah.
Yeah, once he gets that and change, that's when the Kog'Maw starts to get pretty strong. But at the moment, it is all about spawn and this Tahm Kench on the map. Senna TK so strong once you complete that first mythic. Not to mention on the way there, also very powerful if you can't, be threatened by the opposing bot lane thanks to Senna's low health pool. So I think this really is going to be Dignitas' map for the next 5-10 minutes. I think they need to hit the next 2 dragons really hard. But also, I want to see if they can prevent or turn a couple plays around when Saligo does pop that ultimate.
Well, wait for that at the moment, because now Cowrie, having come back from base, does have that Blade of the Ruined King completed. And we're looking across the board, these mythics completed. You talked about how powerful it is for JJ and Spawn to have that so they can get out of the lane and they can start roaming around the map. I think it's also just as impactful for Cowrie to have that Blade of the Ruined King that you were calling out before. And if they can get picks like this on Tomio, that helps them out immensely for Dignitas to make sure that that Blade of the Ruined King isn't really going to be able to be worth its salt because he's not going to be a part of a fight for very long.
And again, part of the reason that I want to see Dignitas start to respond to these plays from Twist of Fate or attack it is the fact that they're very far ahead on the map. 2 turrets, complete control over the bot side jungle. It's going to be an inner turret now going over to Dignitas as they utilize that second Rift Herald. Really well played.
Might even get a second charge.
Yeah,
I think there's a second charge on this Shelly.
And EG just have to wait. They have to sit back and wait for their spikes. So, I really feel like Dignitas playing this out well. EG somewhat losing gracefully, but Dignitas know they're the stronger team now. They're trying to force and doing it successfully, getting themselves some small advantages across the map.
And now sitting comfortably at a 1,500 gold lead over Evil Geniuses. Dignitas have pretty much just been moving across the map. Getting a couple kills, but not necessarily having to play that aggressively. They're just getting objective advantages, getting themselves that second Rift Herald, getting themselves a dragon as well to make sure they're evened up against that of Evil Geniuses. And probably soon is the time for them to strike when they know they have a lot more power they can lord over some of the members of Evil Geniuses.
Again, big thing is going to be that upcoming second dragon as Surdy.
Okay, Surdy.
Oh, does get stream
No
shuffle.
oranges, but it flashed out of there. Has that cannon barrage as well, but we'll be fine. There's not really too much to worry about if you're playing Surdy on this gangplank, because look who's nearby. Tomio and Smoothie are both here. They got the wild growth on the Surdy. He's still got a shield to be able to survive, but not for long. They're going to be able to take the kill, and they got the polymorph on XU, but barely. He gets back to have the Lance Respite, and Tomio keeping distance so they get a killing spree for him. But now they got to worry about the soldiers coming in from Dignitas. They got a little bit of a chase back potential now that Cowrie's here, but the trade is still 1-for-1, and the turret will make it so it's a Dignitas favorite trade.
I think the big items that EG are waiting for to fight, it's going to be Rapid Fire Cannon on Saligo.
Yep.
And the second item here on the Kog'Maw. Until then, Dignitas are the stronger team, and I love how aggressively they're forcing around it in the top side. Not only taking the 1-for-1 and taking that turret, but also resetting in time to rinse, repeat, and try and fight again around this dragon.
Trying to remember the Kog'Maw build now. I think it's the Blade of the Ruin King Wit's End afterwards, right?
So you have options. It's likely going to be this on-hit Kog'Maw, which you end up going into Tiamat and picking up Titanic Hydra. So I think the second item, what it looks like to be from Cowrie, is going to be the Hurricane. And it just pretty much your idea is build as many on-hit items as you can and then apply them all with Hurricane. You're so tanky that you just pretty much become this massive drain tank as the Kog'Maw.
Gotcha. Interesting. So that's why I had to remember, because I thought maybe a Wit's End based one on the daggers that were built up, but also the fact that it gives you that extra layer of safety, the on-hit as well. Doesn't necessarily. I like that build. I kind of like what you were saying.
And I like what's going on, again, right now, because we're talking about EG. That rapid-fire cannon is now online for the Twisted Fate. That'll help, increase range for gold cards. Always good. It can also help Kog'Maw follow up, but Kog'Maw needs more items, needs more time. And so EG, not even thinking about contesting that dragon. It's been Surdy prioritizing gold in the side lane, trying to still funnel himself up, as Surdy will keep on pushing in the top side, and EG will keep on trying to weather the storm that Dignitas are throwing at them.
Dignitas are not relenting. They're constantly trying to put this pressure back onto Evil Geniuses, because, I mean, it goes back to what you were talking about at the very beginning. That Evil Geniuses, if they're given the room, they're given that breathing space, will start to scale up and become scary for the members of Dignitas. So they have to keep accelerating. They gotta put the gas on this game if they want to make sure that there's never that chance for Evil Geniuses to bounce back.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And again, I think the bounce backs for EG, it's going to be around playing out these gold-carded targets cleanly. Whoever gets gold-carded by Sligo is going to get peppered by the Kog'Maw. Tomio just has to pick the right spot to go in, as Tomio is pretty fed and actually caught out here. That's a nice route.
He's caught out. What a catch from... Oh, but it was the bait. We got baited there, and Tomio will barely skirt danger.
That still was a big chunk out of the jungler, and Dignitas, knowing that they have to push the pace of the game now, that's going to be enough for them to start up this Baron.
They could open up the Destiny Gate. They've got a cannon barrage. Scares off the members of Dignitas from securing that Baron. So instead, they peel off, knowing they got at least one cooldown baited out.
At the moment, XU and the rest of Dig just trying to bait EG in. As EG, I mean, they're fine with this. As Surdy, yeah. Thank you to our observers for going bot. Surdy, more gold in his pockets, more gold for the team. Even gold game at the moment. Only thing keeping Dig ahead at the moment are the items in their inventory and that extra dragon they have in their pockets as well.
It's the slow back and forth, the pendulum twisting and turning for each team, where it was 1,500 for Dignitas, but that's the largest we've really had the lead this game. Even if you look at last game, that's kind of how it was between the two squads as well.
And a surprisingly clean game, from each team, considering how early it is in the summer season. This is when I feel like we're more likely to get teams to throw down, make a lot of mistakes. Not to say there haven't been mistakes in this game, but it's been a rather chill game. As Destiny's Gate is popped, they were trying to check to see if Dignitas were doing the Baron. They were off it. Dignitas is actually mid-reset, so Surdy should back off this wave once he gets it all the way in. But overall, EG still demonstrating their map play is strong.
Yeah, Escorts there, tried to deny that cannon from Tony Top, but he still secured it in the end. And now he's got to bail out of that, as you had called out, Cubby. Get back to the rest of the team so they can group up and hopefully get some sort of vision control around this Baron, because that's one thing that's been done well from Dignitas, really making sure that that is completely their territory.
Second item for Kog'Maw, since we did spend some time talking about it.
Gitsu's
options. Yeah, Rageblade, I mean, that is, again, it's the on-hit build. So continuing
Makes
on-hit
sense.
synergizes really well with Bork. So not the Hurricane yet. I do like the Ginsu's much better. I feel like Hurricane's not the best option this game. So after this, I'm curious if we see Cowrie go for... I mean, options would be Phantom Dancer to try and survive. But I think it's time that, we see the Titanic Hydra come out from Cowrie. I think that's going to be the next move. Is
here's a
powered
bit
up.
of chase. No, not enough damage just yet. They chased down, but couldn't actually continue to commit, even if they had the advantage.
Not yet, but we're starting to get to the point where Cowrie is a threat. Saligo with those gold cards, and Cowrie empowered by Kog'Maw walking forward. You can see how much damage this Kog'Maw is starting to do.
Cannon barrage, getting a lot of space, and XU fights with Surdy the entire time on the side, waiting for the cannon chain. Gets a lot of damage onto XU, and Surdy, he's perfectly fine. He just ate those oranges up and said, all right, time for round 2.
2 big ults burned before this dragon. Lamb's Respite on the side of Dignitas, and also Cannon Barrage for Surdy. So I think overall, both those ultimates are really important to each team, but Dignitas are the ones that, thanks to Azir passive, thanks to the strength they have at the moment, they are still the ones that have control over this bot side river. As Dragon spawning in 30, Dignitas really want to secure this, get themselves on Soul Point, and force EG to respond to the rest of the Dragons in the game.
That was a TP from Saligo. Threatening a flank. They have no idea. He's right there in the wings. But with the help of that Azir turret, makes it difficult for them to actually step up. They've now spotted out Tomio and Saligo on the other side. Could be a potential trade. Look for the Baron for Dragon. The pings come down from Dignitas, but look at where EG are posturing.
I don't think EG should start this. That's a mistake. Dignitas, they should send one to solo. That's going to be the plan. So Tony Top is on the Dragon. That will be a free Mountain Dragon going over to the side of Dig as they try and play defense around the Baron. Spawn is sitting on a blue trinket, so they can check Baron at any point, as this is well played by Dignitas. I think EG still not too keen to opt into any fights. They have one more Dragon to give. They will choose to give it now.
Giving it over. Well, it's soul point potential there for Dignitas. It's not the soul itself. They can get a little bit of control. Look for the play. Nice. Emperor survived. Brings back in Cowrie, but Cowrie continues to kite back, getting one to go golden. Getting a lot of damage onto XU. No Lance Respite is available, but they're going to be able to get the knock coming in from JJ, so they can look to see if they can chase down everybody on Evil Geniuses. Even if Tomio is able to get a huge knock up, he got 2 kills. He's still being caught out by the rest of the members of Dignitas. XU, he's just kiting him back for days. Easy shutdown for XU.
And Tomio, very fed this game, was doing massive work in the backline, but he was alone, and it was really the start of the fight from Insanity, the Shurima shuffle onto the bot lane of EG. Yes, Cloud9 did burn sums, were able to kite it out, pump some damage back, but that's huge for the side of Dignitas, because guess what? They can rinse and repeat that displacement again. Tony Top and Insanity, now with those flashes down, they have a place to attack. They have targets to try and further snowball this game in their favor, as I think that was a much-needed fight win for Dignitas.
I mean, when we look at this replay, too, like you said, it's Insanity starting it off, and at first it almost looks like Evil Geniuses get out of this one and can turn it around, but I think it's the fact that it was just the round 1. They weren't ready for round 2.
I mean, it was the flash heat from JJ. He saves Insanity, make sure it's not a one-way trip, and Insanity, while he does go down by so much time, going golden, keeping Saligo and Tomio busy, while the rest of Dignitas just shredded the bot lane of EG, who, of course, were forced to start that fight by burning sums. And
there, afterwards, it's just clean up for the side of Dignitas. They can get themselves more control. They can look to see if they can set up that vision that they had lost around Baron yet again.
And again, those flashes now being off the Kog'Maw, off the Lulu, very important that Dignitas are able to try and punish those. We'll have to see if they end up making a fast play. Keep your eyes on that Cog Lulu. Insanity, if he's able to land a good Shurima shuffle, of course, can get polymorphed on the way in. So we'll have to see if Smoothie is really quick on those fingers and that decision-making of where to place that W on Lulu, whether that's on the Kog'Maw or the target attacking the Kog'Maw.
Well, the surprising thing is, despite a pretty big victory in that last fight for Dignitas, they didn't gain much ground when it came to gold lead. Even if you look at who has the items and where they're put, it's relatively even across the board. While there's 3 items for the side of Insanity, because of the cheaper build, Saligo's at the same mark. He's still got 3 items. The only one that really have a sizable lead would probably be XU. But even still, Tomio's got himself that Hex Drinker to survive a lot more of the burst.
Yeah, both these junglers are pretty fed, and we have an awkward map state at the moment where Dig, they are sitting towards the top, and Saligo was hovering bot. They're attacking Tony Top. He should go down.
He will go down to the card slice, but now with the TP in, Insanity makes sure it's a trade of 1 for 1.
Overall, again, I feel like this benefits Dignitas as really the only benefit for EG is that they have 2 TPs up to the 1 of Dig. So
Yeah.
if EG are able to make a good play with those 2 TPs, they do have a window. But overall, just a trade going on. Good response from Insanity to make sure that EG don't get away with that play for free. But both teams very scared to start this Baron. And that is kind of one of the shortcomings of Dignitas' comp. Okay, I was going to say with the Senna, they don't do Baron that fast, but they have a Kindred. So they still blitz Baron. They blitz the Baron down,
yeah. Well, not even just the Kindred, it's the Azir. Azir just melts
yeah, both of them
these.
blitz it.
Right, so I'm just looking at both sides. They have these tools that, if left alone long enough, they'll take it quickly. But the problem is, you can tell neither team want to relent on that pressure.
Speaking of.
Okay, what do we got?
Okay,
Now they know. Now they know. I was waiting for it too, seeing if they were going to put a ward over or if it was going to be a blue trinket. Ended up being the blue. So they know that, pull them back off, and with 38 seconds until the next dragon spawns, the potential Mountain Soul for Dignitas, the EG are now caught in a pickle on which one they actually want to see if they can stop.
They have to stop the Soul. As Cowrie. Oh man, Cowrie, that's an expensive chunk. He does have Vamp, so he can hit the wave, but Vamp was of course decreased on this patch, so that 50% HP, that's big for EG, and that's enough that they're actually not going to go for this dragon. They just turn straight for the Baron.
Instead, trying to bait in and goad the Dignitas into them. They can heal up on the Baron as well. They've started it up, but this is risky.
They at least have gotten Dignitas' attention. Tony Top is not trying to solo out the Mountain Soul for himself. Instead, it is a 5-stack. We'll see who ends up eating the gold card. That's who EG are going to look at as Cannon Barrage goes out but doesn't find much.
On the reset from Baron, so won't be secured by either team. They still dance around the pit, looking for that angle on one another. And they got to be so careful with how Cowrie was taken low, even if he does have the Vamp like you were talking about from the Blade of the Ruin King. It is about if they can get this Kog'Maw to actually do damage to the backline. Emperor's Divide was able to split them up with Lance Fight as well into the backline. That's the damage that you want from Cowrie, shutting down Kindred. They can still chase if they want to. Look to see what member they can get with a double knocker coming in for the side of that Tom Kench. It is now them booking it out of the fight. They've lost their Kog'Maw, and another double knockup from JJ. He is keeping this game on the side of Dignitas. He can even get a triple kill here, waiting the Abyssal Dive. He'll take down one more shutdown.
And this is the issue with Kog'Maw comps, is that if the Cog goes down first, your linchpin is dead. Cowrie goes down immediately. I don't know how the root landed, but Spawn on the Senna. Found the W's. Oh! Woo!
Sweet! He deletes Insanity, takes the dragon for himself. This game ain't over, Cubby.
Oh my god, this game should have been over. By all counts, Dignitas greeting their reset. What just happened? EG somehow still in this one. We're going to take a second look. Keep your eyes on the Cowrie because this turn, it's really, really well played from Cowrie. Again, pre-firing Cog, empowered up by Lulu, but watch Spawn. Spawn, the root finds Cowrie. Cowrie needs to preemptively flash that. Was not able to. In fact, I don't think he had flash up. I think it just came up as he is now in the death chamber. I couldn't quite tell in the replay, but because Cowrie did eat the root, a beautiful chain from JJ, Kog'Maw dies first, and then EG, they're just left for the Wolves.
And the fact that even despite this great play from Dignitas, they don't end up getting the soul, it's just insane. This is wild, Cubby.
I cannot believe that actually happened for EG. This should be Mountain Soul. It should be a very difficult game for EG to win. But honestly, EG, they're walking out on the map in an even game state with flash up on Kog'Maw. And Kog'Maw has more items now. That is the Tiamat completed and the Hurricane. So once you get the Titanic Hydra, that's when you are drain tank Kog'Maw. You are able to walk up and really face tank a lot of damage. You can already see Cowrie pumping out so much damage, able to walk up so confidently on this Kog'Maw. The only thing that can really stop him at this point is going to be Insanity and these Shurima shuffles.
Oh, and there's always that potential. We've seen Insanity do it once this game. We've seen it before in earlier series as well today. That a good Azir ult, a good Shurima shuffle with Emperor's Divide to the back line could really set up victory for the team. And you need to make sure that you're catching out Cowrie, because in the meantime, He is just starting to farm up, waiting to see when he can afford that Titanic.
Does have a ways to go. Still needs to pick up the G belt. But yeah, I like adding so much health to the pool. The only one that, I mean, Azir and Kindred both have ways to chop through that with their itemization, but still.
Right.
It gives Kog'Maw so much more confidence to walk up, and again, you are getting the full on-hit effect. It is Rage Blade, so proccing on-hit effects twice with every 3 autos, with Hurricane, and then you get Tiamat plus Bork on top of all that. So if Dignitas ever stack up, Kog'Maw will absolutely shred you, and it's something that Dignitas will have to manage, and is honestly a big concern for them at this part of the game, because, you know, one of the ways you can combat this or fight it is by matching it with the Mountain Soul. And because Dignitas do not have that extra shield, those extra resistances the Mountain Dragons do bring you and the Soul brings in terms of the shields, I honestly feel like this game is a 50-50 and slightly EG favored in terms of just looking at comps and itemization at the moment.
Well, this goes back again to what we talked about at the very beginning, Cubby. A throwback call back here because Cowrie is starting to scale up into this game. I've seen them somehow miraculously survive and make sure they can push the game time further. Exactly. I'm looking at that, seeing if Cowrie can afford it yet. Yeah, and he can.
That's big. That's really big for the side of EG. I think now Dignitas are on the back foot, but that's just for the fights. Dignitas, given all the good work they put into this game, they still have map control. You can see that by their ability to play around this Baron. It is in darkness. Soligo does have that port coming up short. We will see if he uses it just to check the Baron, as the blue trinket just went down. So EG sees that Dignitas are on the wave and not on the Baron. We'll see after this wave gets cleared how aggressively Dig starts to posture around this, as they do start up the objective.
Started up. There's TPs on the side of Surdy as well as Cannon Barrage if needed. They've already backed off and forced Dignitas not to commit to it. They even used the Destiny Gate to make sure there's no way they can actually escape from them. They can continue to chase so they can get a little bit more pressure.
And yes, the port was used. Yes, Dig are forced off, but now Dig, they're forced to now focus on the Mountain Soul. But Soligo, that's a nice gold card.
Nice Devour. Nice Devour from JJ to make sure he's fine. And look at Axio on the other side, fighting with Surdy a little bit. They're going to be able to get the gold card on top of Axio, and he is split from the team. Even if you have Lamb's Respite, it's only delaying your inevitable death. The death has been brought in with a Cyclone like that coming in from Tomio. Even if it's underneath the turret, they've got Cowrie's damage. Looking to chase down these members. JJ, you weren't tanky enough to survive that onslaught.
Cowrie and the Cog Lulu, it's officially online, and Dignitas, they put in good work. They tried to snowball this game forward, but I think the fact that Surdy stole that dragon, sent Insanity to the gray screen with a parlay to the face, and Bankplank took the Mountain Soul, put it in EG's pockets. That is the critical turning point of this game, because as I said, EG, they've scaled. Their comp is favored. You have a level 18 IE Gangplank. You have the on-hit Kog'Maw fully online, and Dig have ran out of options to deal with that.
It's how do you now deal with this Kog'Maw that can run you down for days, steal your movement speed, and it's now even got a stopwatch just for that added layer of safety. It is difficult now for Dignitas. The scaling has now come fully in force for Evil Geniuses. So when we look at this replay, like you talked about, watch Cowrie and the flash forward.
I just love the windows again. Cowrie empowered up by the Lulu. Whenever you get the shield plus the W, and you have W running on Kog'Maw, those are your windows. 2-step forward. Cowrie, in this fight, made such good use of those 2 windows. As again, gets his cooldowns back. What happens? Instantly flashes forward and resumes pumping out damage. Really good work from Cowrie and Smoothie, just maximizing all the damage they could put down in that fight, helping EG run over the fight, prevent the Mountain Soul, secure the neutral objectives, and give EG really the foothold to be ahead in this game for the first time.
That's funny because we are now nearly dead even when it comes to this game. But when it comes to gold, when it comes to kills, they're even the dragons. Both of them having 2 Mountain Souls apiece. The next dragon, if it's allowed to spawn, will be a deciding factor on who gets that soul. While Dignitas are trying to bait it out. They're on top of that Baron already.
They're melting it. There is an empowered TP on Surdy, but it's too late. It's down. But what happens afterwards?
They look for the fight. That's what they have to do, Cubby. They have to keep this going because they got to worry about what the Baron's going to be able to do with Toby on the flank.
No,
they got
Cowrie.
Down Cowrie. He's gone. No more carry for you. It's on Surdy's shoulders to see if he can get these barrels to connect. If he can get the damage to stick onto the Dignitas members, while Saligo gets caught out alone. He's out to dry. He might go golden, but he'll die. And that is a huge play from Dignitas.
And it's a huge mistake from Cowrie going golden in front of the entire team of Dignitas. It's so easy for them to chain the CC. EG were not in range to follow up. Cowrie needs to wait for his team, and him falling. There's 20 seconds on the Cogmaw. Dignitas might be able to wrap this one up.
Yeah, they've got Baron, they've got power, they've got Surdy's flash as well. Even if Tomio's here with the Cyclone, that's a big barrel chain to help them out. They've lost one turret, but Lamb's Respite, they kept the fight just a little bit longer. Tomio tried to re-engage with the Cyclone, but he'll fall. Surdy's next, Cowrie is up, but there are no Nexus turrets. They're wailing away, and the game is secured by Dignitas Academy.
And Dignitas, I mean, the clock was running out. I felt like the clock hit 0, but Dignitas, they found the angle. One mistake from Cowrie, one mistake from the Cogmaw, and when you take that Cogmaw off the map, there is nothing that you can do as Dignitas. That is your linchpin. All the damage that you have as Cowrie just makes one wrong step. Dignitas punish. I thought it was going to be summer. We're going to talk about EG 1-1 curse again, but no. Dignitas, they have other thoughts and debut their new roster with a sub and Tony Top as well, taking that 2-0.
Tony Top looked really good in this series as well. He was very powerful when it came to how he was able to play out the lanes, get these leads. The Gangplank before the Camille this time, having those angles that really helped set up the team. Honestly, it looked like he was always meant to be a part of the team.
Honestly, Tony Top, I going up against your old team, being a sub, we talked about it with the subs of C9. Sometimes whenever you get opportunities, you have to make the most of them. I thought that Tony Top, especially Game 1, had a fantastic Game 1. That game was all right from Tony Top, but I thought Game 1 especially played really well. That game, though, for Dig, honestly, standout for me, I thought it was Insanity. I thought Insanity played really well, had the one Shurima shuffle that got Dignitas ahead, and then the second one, just going in, baiting out the stopwatch from Cowrie. That was the reason that Dignitas were able to take Game 2.
I mean, the first game, too, Vel'Koz, then Azir, both these champions they've highlighted well to make sure that they can find these victories. And with that, we have a 2-0 lead that Dignitas Academy got for themselves. It's just well done. So I don't know if I have any more to say. Do you?
I mean, I hope so in the future, man.
Well, I'm talking about at this very moment.
At this very moment, I mean, if you say you got nothing else, and you got nothing else, I'm out of things too. It's been
okay, that's what I thought.
A little bit of a longer day, but if you're still sticking with us, thanks for sticking with us, and it's been a blast for the first day of Academy.
Oh yeah,
and don't go. We still have interviews.
We're not done. We're not done. We got an interview with Mazel, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We'll be right back.
Welcome back on into the Verizon post-game interview here as our last series of the day wraps up. Dignitas Academy taking a 2-0 victory over Evil Geniuses Academy. I am now joined with the one, the only Dignitas Academy jungler, XU. My dude, starting off the season with a 2-0 over Evil Geniuses Academy. The second game a little bit more difficult to come by, and the win a little bit long. How do you feel after the first series of Summer Split here?
I'm not too happy with my own play, but I'm actually really happy with like how my team played, considering how poorly I was playing. So, yeah, I think it was a pretty good showing, considering it's the first set of a long split. So, yeah.
Exactly. And to start off with a 2-0, not too bad. I want to talk a little bit more about gameplay. Specifically, how has matching up with Insanity in the mid lane been? How has that jungle mid synergy kind of been forming through the offseason coming into the split?
I think we're doing a pretty good job, honestly, considering we've only had like maybe a week or two of scrims. Everything's coming together pretty well. I like that we have the ability to play a lot of different styles, and I think that's something that we want to showcase this split. So, yeah, honestly, I'm pretty happy with how it's going.
Yeah, and we heard, rumblings. Our producer Kelsey obviously gives us some communications, but one thing you were working on was expanding that jungle pool a little bit. What was one thing you worked on specifically, I guess, for yourself as a player in the off season? Did you take some time to kind of digest how you approach the game? Did you change like your practicing schedule at all? Did you change anything like that?
I think one of the biggest things is like working on my consistency and making sure that like every game I can be as good as possible. Clearly that didn't go too well today, but it's still the beginning, so it's okay. Practice wise, like it's pretty similar. I think a lot of us are trying to be more proactive in playing in Champs Queue. I think this split, like Dignitas has put in a lot of work in Champs Queue, even though they don't show our stats anymore. But yeah, we're definitely putting in the work.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get some stats. We'll make sure we have that in there for you. Speaking of like changes coming to the new season, it is a durability patch. It's a little bit different of a meta. Is there anything that stands out to you? Anything that you're happy about? Maybe not so happy about?
Honestly, it's not too bad. I think like being a pro, you just have to adjust. And with 12.11, there's another huge patch. So
yeah,
I guess that kind of sucks. Since like we just got to this new patch and we play 1 week and then we have a new patch. So not too much change with the durability. Like champions come and go. You just have to adapt.
Very, very true. Speaking of a little bit of that, some more, and that adaptation in the split, you are playing with Tony Top in the top lane right now. You are waiting on Hoon. Have you had any communications with Hoon? Have you been able to build up any of that jungle top synergy at all before?
Not too much. I think we've talked maybe a little bit. But yeah, I think he's a really nice guy. He seems like an awesome dude to work with. So I'm excited for him to come back. Not to discredit Tony though. Working with Tony's great too.
Yeah, so I will say, are you excited to get him on the team content? Because I see you guys are still doing the poses. You got the scooters out today. Like, I'm here for it, man. I think all of social media is here for the continued Dignitas Academy content. So how's that been going? Have you been having a lot of fun with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best part of being here at Dig is like everyone really is like a friend. Like it's the power of friendship type of thing. So
there we go.
All of us are happy to be with each other, and we all live with each other, and most of the time we spend at the office together. So yeah, it's really nice to have that kind of dynamic as a team.
I like it. Now, looking at your competition a little bit, just a couple more questions here. Do you have anybody that really stands out to you in the competitive sphere of junglers right now in Academy Summer?
Not particularly. I heard Chad wanted to like make enemies with everyone so that he would have like a personal vendetta, but I don't think Chad's that good. So he has some fuel for himself. And then I know Shaden was really hyped up, and so was Will, but I think they both had even worse debuts than I did. So it's okay. Like I think today will be. I think my competition is not as great as they're hyped up to be.
Soft flex, no big deal, XU. I like it. Now I do want to give you one last little bit. Tell me a couple things. I'll give you a chance to shout out some people, but what is XU as a player? What is your goal for this split? What do you want to accomplish as yourself?
I mean, this split, I'm hopefully going to try to get rank 1 champs queue, like try to do as well as I can in Academy. Definitely want to be the best jungler. I think most of the time I'm up there. Today maybe I wasn't, but that's okay. I think by the end of the split, I'll definitely be the best jungler in Academy, and hopefully Dignitas will make some crazy deep runs this split, because I think we have a really good roster.
Love it, man. Love it. Got anybody you want to shout out? Anybody you want to talk about before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I always cover Katarina and Champ Select, so shout out to my girlfriend, Kat, who actually got a full-time job at Dignitas now, so she doesn't do our Academy content anymore, but she's still really supportive, and she's still part of the org, so big shout out to her.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me, XU. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a nice little rest before you get right back to it tomorrow.
Of course, thank you so
that'll
much.
be it. Yeah, of course. That'll be it for our interview of the day. Now we got to bring Magical and Cubby back on to wrap up the day, talk a little bit of what we have seen on our first day of Academy Summer Split, and maybe talk a little bit about that XU interview. I heard some giggles in the background, maybe from Cubby coming through that interview. So
I just like the fact. Yeah, I just like the fact that like how he like pitched the Chad thing. Like, you know, I think Chad's like trying to make enemies, but like I'm better than him. So like, you know,
Yeah.
Like a little
no
like
big deal.
subtle trash talk.
That got me to
XU.
giggle.
I like, yeah. I like that. You know what? He's a split ahead of some of the competition that he has now that are coming in and coming back. And, you know, I think they're going to have to prove that they can beat XU before people, you know, might put him above XU. So I like that
Very
attitude.
true.
I'm a really big fan of it, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I will just recap as a whole. It's kind of crazy. We ended up with 2 O's across the board on both A and B stream today.
Ooh,
so for our first
all 2
day,
O's?
getting some
Wow.
smashes out. If LOL Esports is correct, it says
Where
2
are my
O's
EG
across the
1-1s?
board.
Yeah.
need
I
the
know.
EG
Where's
1-1 curse.
Dignitas 1-1s? Like, what is happening? This is the beginning of the split. We need a tie day. We need all this kind of stuff. Maybe we'll get that opportunity tomorrow.
got the
as we are going
tie.
to take. We're going to take a look at tomorrow's schedules across Stream A and Stream B as well, and take a look at those 5 best of 2s that we will be seeing. So as you see, on Stream A, game number 1 will be Evil Geniuses Academy versus TL Academy. Game 2 on Stream A will be Golden Guardians Academy versus CLG Academy. Game 3 on Stream A will be 100 Thieves Academy versus Immortals Academy. Now over on Stream B, which Stream A is twitch.tv/academy. Stream B is twitch.tv/path to LCS. It'll be CLG Academy taking on Cloud9
No. It's
Academy.
FlyQuest. It's FlyQuest. There's double
it's
CLG.
FlyQuest. Oh, there is
Yeah.
double CLG. I'm, just going down the numbers. TSM Academy going on against Dignitas Academy as the second series of that second stream. And it's an action-packed second day. I'm very excited to see a lot of the come-ups from day one. A lot of 0 score lines for some teams that need to make a bounce back tomorrow. Magical.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you'd hope to see a team like Cloud9 be able to bounce back, but it's going to be hard still with the temp subs. I'm looking more towards like 100 Thieves, Evil Geniuses,
Yeah.
these teams that have their rosters mostly intact if you're looking at 100 Thieves, but for the most part, all there. I want to see how they bounce back from this kind of day, what kind of lessons they've learned, how they can figure, have some struggles where it does seem like they just didn't have maybe the best synergy with one another, but if they can fix those issues from one day to the next, honestly, it could be a great statement for why these teams are teams that we have to keep considering despite just a bad day one.
Very true,
I really wanna-
Cubby.
Yeah, I really want to see TSM play again because I
Oh,
mean,
same
what a
here.
debut from them. But obviously C9 sub squad, it's kind of a tough situation there. That and then I don't know. I just want to go back and like watch the rest of the tape. Academy's back. I missed 4 games.
It's a crazy.
Competitive league's back. I just want to go through all
It's
the tape,
back,
get ready for tomorrow
baby!
again.
Ah!
Yeah,
Oh, I know.
I'm excited.
Oh, it's so happy. I'm so happy. It's been a long day, but it is absolutely worth it to be able to tell these players' stories, to be able to look at the wonders that we have in Academy. It's been an absolute pleasure to be joined alongside Cubby and Magical for this whole thing. Thank you guys for the wonderful casting on the day. Huge shout out to our new producers and our esports engine. I don't know if that's pun intended or not, but esports engine doing huge things. There were a lot of technical difficulties, but trudging through it is the way you got to do it, and got to give a huge appreciation to all of them behind the scenes. Everyone for tuning into this long day, the audience for tuning into Academy for the first day of Summer Split. I hope you enjoyed, because we got a lot more coming. So be sure to tune in tomorrow, same time, same place, and we'll see you next time on Summoner's Rift.